try to stop the mission. They try to break me, try to take me out, but I got Jesus on my side. What's the better thought of the
Hello, everyone. This is your host, Maria Duenas, with the Entrepreneur Soiree, and I'm super excited to be back. I don't even know where to start, if I'm being quite honest, okay? But I'm just excited to be here and to share with all of you what we have been up to this last week. I mean, to say it was an eventful week, I think it's an understatement, but it's all good. And I really do want to focus on having an attitude of gratitude, like no matter what. So, I'm going to take you guys back to Monday of last week, and we were super excited. We got invited to be a speaker at the third annual Woman of Achievement celebration. And it was our first time actually speaking in public. I've done other speaking engagements where, because of work, I'm translating or speaking in front of larger crowds, but never speaking about myself, about, the accomplishments we've been able to achieve with Delish events, and just generally, like just in general, sharing our story. And I have to tell you, the room was filled with so many amazing women of all different backgrounds, all entrepreneurial, mindset for the majority, and some that were, probably there to get inspired, get motivated. And I left the room feeling grateful, feeling like I had touched lives of the women that were there. After I got off the stage, a lot of the women that were there were just like, Maria, you were amazing. Everything you said. Thank you so much for sharing your story. If they only knew, I was like shaking. I was nervous. My heart felt like it was going to come out of my body. Seriously, guys, because I was nervous and I had never really done that for myself. And I remember just leaving the event and telling my husband, I was like, you know what? I've never felt so much love, so many positive vibes and good wishes coming towards us from women we did not know. And that says a lot. That says we were with the right people, because, truth be told, nowadays it's hard to really find people who are encouraging you, who are cheering for you. And granted, I understand we really don't need anyone else's approval per se, to get to our final destination or to do whatever we want to do. But we all know that it feels really good when other people are encouraging you, especially if it's like your family, your friends, if they're close to you. But it feels even more amazing when it's people that don't even know you, and they're cheering for you, they're rooting for you, and they want to see you do good. So overall, I mean, I was just grateful for the opportunity that was given to us by Candice Barr, who is the one who put all of this together, owner of Lux Media. And it was just an amazing event, so following that, we had a week full of other events, just regular events, social events that we were being a part of. But also, I had the opportunity to go live on the NBC studios for Channel 4, for their program California Live. And that was also an amazing experience for us. We had never been on TV set, on any TV set per se, filming live. We usually do pre-recordings with other TV channels. So it was definitely another amazing experience, a roller coaster of emotions. And the producer, the entire team were extremely happy and grateful for everything we had done. I mean, I showed up. The theme was, how to do a fiesta on a budget, since we were celebrating Mexico's independence, and they really wanted us to get creative and show, their audience how anybody could just really do this if, we're on a budget or can't always afford to hire an event planner. So, I mean, I dressed up, I really poured my heart into it, from hand making the piñata to their setup. And everything that I have been wanting to do for like the longest time is just like coming to life. And I don't even know how to explain it, but it's just like when you're really like manifesting things and throwing it out into the universe, the way the opportunities come. I mean, like I said, I wish I understood how to put it into the right words, but it's just an amazing feeling. And I know sometimes we feel lost and we even feel like, are we even doing enough? Like we see everyone else succeeding at greater scales and doing bigger things. And we're wondering, like, will we ever get there? Like that little voice in the back of your head that's talking to you, where you're trying to convince yourself why you are not going to ever get there, or why, X, Y, and Z is better than you. But I'm here to tell you that we have the power to actually just, block all that outside noise and say, you know what? I'm not going to focus on that. I'm going to focus on the things that are actually happening to me today. And I'm going to be grateful for that. And the power of having an attitude of gratitude can take you places you have never probably imagined you could be, whether it's for your business, whether it's your personal life, whether it's something you're trying to achieve, that has nothing to do with any business, ties. But it's just really being grateful. So we left. The studio, and again, the amount of love that we received on our social media page was just beside something I could ever imagine, again, because truth be told, not everyone wants to see you do good. And the people that do want to see you do good, maybe a handful of those people really do mean it. And the other handful, or the other half probably are saying, yes, we do want to see you win, but we don't want to see you do better than me. That's just the way, humans naturally operate, which is kind of sad in my opinion. But with the proper training, with the proper tools, and for you to really seek out that there is enough room for all of us to shine, no matter what you're doing, no matter what industry, is how you're going to be able to genuinely feel happy for other people when they're doing good things. And something that I always tell myself, because I have to admit, like at times back in the day, thank God that's not me anymore. And it's not that I wasn't grateful for or happy to see other people do better, but in the back of my head, I would always be like, man, I wish that was me. Or, what are they doing that I'm not doing? And then I would feel kind of down. And then I would feel, well, maybe I'm not that good. Or maybe that's because they're getting there because they're better than me. And I had to really retrain myself and understand that no, if A, B, or C is doing better than me, that's probably because they're working that much harder and they are deserving of that. I'd have to say the majority of the people are deserving, because there are those cases where you're thinking, that should not have gone that way, or that person didn't deserve that promotion or whatever, and there are those cases. But nonetheless, you still have to be happy for other people, especially in our industry, in our community. It's just like, this is the way I see it. If they're winning, I'm winning. If they're able to do it, that means that there is a huge possibility for me to be able to get there, for me to be able to have the clients that maybe another event planner has. And not because we're going to take business away from anyone, but it's just everything's going to happen so organically that you already know that things are going to line up really good for you. And that's what I have to say. You have to start believing in yourself. You have to really, fine tune everything that's going on inside internally. Because once you get that squared away, then you're going to be ready to receive so many blessings that you are just not going to know what to do with them. And that's exactly what has happened with us as we're getting ready to approach, in October next month. Our 8th year anniversary. Okay. Now, if I were to walk you through memory lane, I would have never, like in a million years, believed that I would be here today still. Right. I knew that this is something that I wanted to do because it's a passion of mine. It's something that I know I'm great at. But I mean, I don't have a business background. I don't have, I mean, structure that you could say, like, oh, I went to school for this and that's why I'm succeeding or that's why I'm doing so well. No, it was all pretty much trial and error. And we finally figured out a formula that works for us. And here we are, 8 years later. But I do have to admit, like the first couple of years, it was just like, when am I going to get to the next level? Because, like every business, when you're starting, it's slow. You're not making money. You're probably giving your product away for free because you want everyone to get to know you. You want to be able to say, like, hey, listen, I can do it for you, give me the opportunity. And you're out there knocking on doors, and not everyone's going to be okay with you, not everyone's going to want to work with you, and that could be discouraging. And then you can have like these negative thoughts, going back to those thoughts again, to say, well, maybe this is not what I should be doing, maybe I should just go back to working for someone. But thank God that I did not buy into that story that was being told in my head. Thank God that instead I chose to be grateful for every opportunity that was coming my way, whether it was good, whether it was bad, whether someone said, no, we don't like you, we don't want to work with you, whatever the case may have been. But I have always been grateful for that. And something that I'll share with you guys that I always do, because if you guys have been following our journey for some time now, you know that my faith is really big now. Thank God for that, because at first, it's a couple years ago, it wasn't, and I was always just like, how can I get God to do whatever I want Him to do on my terms? And then I had to realize, no, Maria, that's not the way it works. God will work with you when you're ready to work with Him. And ever since then, I have to say, only amazing things have happened in, overall, again, attitude of gratitude, if I'm being grateful for the good things in my life, because obviously we have our ups and downs and nothing is perfect in my life. It's far from it, to be truthful. um but it's just like really saying, if this is the opportunity that you want for us, in this example, delish events, then we want to be able to move forward with whatever client that is. I will always pray, okay, before we send off any type of proposal, before we send off any type of agreement, before we even start the conversation. I will always ask God, Lord, you already know this could be a great opportunity for us. I mean, the budget is great, everything looks good. But if this is not what you have in mind for us, then I'm going to be okay if we let it go. Okay. So, more often than not, we end up working with the right people. It's kind of like if they're handpicked, which is kind of crazy if you ask me, because in these 8 years that we've actually been in business, we've had amazing experience. And I want to say, with almost all of our clients, out of, like, let's just say a 99.9% satisfaction rate, because there has been that one or two clients that things didn't end so well, but it wasn't by choice. It wasn't because we were not able to fulfill our end of the bargain, and other things that came into play that kind of ruined that experience. But I do have to say that we have been blessed to really have some genuine amazing clients that have actually turned into family till this day, and that have followed us since day one. Now, is that going to happen for everyone? Probably not. Is that going to happen all the time for us? Probably not. But am I still going to continue to be grateful for the great opportunities that still continue to come our way? Absolutely. Because right now we are at a point in our career with delish events where we are blessed to be able to say, well, we do want to work with this client, and we are able to pick the clients we do want to work with. Why? Because we've already put in the legwork, we've already done all the wheeling and dealing. So now we are blessed to be able to decide, who do we want to partner with, who do we want to work with. Now, the answer may not always be yes, but I know exactly who we want to be working with, right? And not only that, but we are getting into a season of delish events where we're also going to be expanding on other services that have nothing to do with event planning. But I also know that it's in my heart And I know that I have to find a way to bring those services to life. Okay. So, having said that, going back to last week and all those amazing things that were happening to us, where yes, we were thriving and we were, exposed on national television once again, and everything was also good. But we also did have some stuff that didn't go quite as planned, and we had to figure it out. And at the end of the day, I still had to be grateful. So, like I mentioned, we had a week filled of events, and we had some family emergencies where my mother-in-law had surgery, my sister ended up in the hospital, and who's going to help me watch the kids? And we didn't have a babysitter because everything happened so last minute, but I still had to find a way to stay centered, to stay focused. Oh, and not to mention, like on Friday, one of my vendors, she forgot, some stuff that was supposed to be part of the rental equipment. And I'm on the phone with her saying, like, hey, will you be able to, send it within time before our event start? As I'm on the phone with her, someone hits her from the back. She's driving and she's in a car accident. And then I'm thinking, okay, you know what? Like your life, your safety is more important. I'm going to have to figure this out. Not to mention, I had the kids with me while I was trying to set up for this event again, because we had no babysitter, because they were both out on, you could say, medical leave, because they both needed medical attention. So it's just finding ways to still be grateful in those difficult moments that I feel in my heart. God will find a way to bless you even bigger and better, if that makes any sense. But any blessing that comes from God is just amazing in itself. And I always feel like I'm not deserving of it, but thank you so much. But it's just the way you're able to manage things. And instead of thinking, because naturally I would have been like, oh my gosh, let me just sit here and cry and let me just like call everything off. We pushed through, we made it happen. Obviously, with the help of my husband and just like teamwork, and having people that were able to assist in short increments of time, just so that we can make things happen. Not to mention my mom, she was like on call here at home to make sure she was watching the kids while we were away at our events and things like that. But just be grateful. Be grateful, because a lot of these things could have turned out really bad. We could have missed amazing opportunities, had we sat down and just felt like sorry for our situation and felt like, oh my God, how are we going to do this? Poor me, but we chose not to. We said, okay, we got to figure out, we work with the people that we do have available right now. And then we're just going to go out and make sure everyone is taken care of. And I feel that's also where your work ethic comes into play, because we understand that we have a responsibility with every single one of our clients. Okay. And till this day, year to date, we are yet to cancel on anyone. We are yet to say, you know what, I'm sorry, we're not able to fulfill our end of the agreement. And more nowadays, we're hearing that from other vendors that literally, thank God we are not associated with, but will just not show up to provide their service. Like, oh, I had an emergency, I will not be able to make it, I'm sorry, bye. And me as an event planner is left to figure it out for a client, because even though I had no saying in who that vendor was, um, because our clients will decide sometimes to bring in their own vendors, I still, I feel responsible for that. I feel that it's my responsibility to make sure that no matter what, our clients are able to have a successful event. And I'll share one particular incident where I think I was like really tried with what I'm talking about now with this, which is your work ethic, no matter what, whether it's your business or not. We had a day filled with three events. Okay, three full events. Thankfully, only one of the three events was where my presence was required. The other two were just major setups, and we were going to do the setup for the client and we were able to leave. And the last event was where I needed to physically be there for the duration of her event. So three events in one day. Talk about no sleep. Talk about making sure my entire team knew exactly what they were doing at each different location. Okay. But mind you, the day before that day where we had, you know, hands tied down, my father almost passed away. Okay. So I'm on the phone. My father wasn't physically here in California. I'm on the phone with him and my sister, and he's literally giving us instructions. Like, if something does happen to me tonight, you know exactly where you're going to find X, Y, and Z. You know who you need to call, everything. And I'm thinking, I know I'm not having this conversation right now with my dad when my head was spinning and my phone was going off because everyone was asking for instructions. What do we need to do here? What time are we doing there? Delivery for here, deliver for there. And I had to really just take a step back, take a deep breath, and understand that, number one, there was nothing that I was going to be able to do for my father because I wasn't going to be able to make it in time for me to help him in any way, shape, or form. So thank God for friends again. I called to one of my dear friends who's a nurse out where he lives. And I said, you need to go check on him, pretty much knock the door down if you have to. And I need to know that he is at least going to be okay in the next 24 hours. So she did. She went, she rushed him to the closest clinic that was available and open, willing to take him, in the town where he lives. And once she was able to do that for me, then I already knew that everything was going to be left in God's hands. That, again, there's nothing that I can do. My clients are counting on me because, again, every single celebration is important to my client. It doesn't necessarily have to be a wedding for them to say it's this event is important. Otherwise, they wouldn't be hiring us. So I had to switch my mindset and bring myself back to what I needed to accomplish, what I needed to do for every single one of our clients that day, or the following day, I should say. And then talk about, what were the next steps that were going to happen for my father. So I'm at all of these events because I still showed up to every single one of the events to make sure everything was perfect before, event A, B, and C started. Um, and I was constantly on the phone with my friend who was watching him at the time. I said, you just need to keep me posted. We were texting, we were everything. I wasn't 100% present. I'd be lying if I was, with everything we had going on, because my heart was like, my dad, like, am I going to be able to see him again? Or, is this the yesterday's conversation, the last conversation I had? But again, attitude of gratitude, impeccable work ethic, which at the end of the day, I know my dad would have been like, you need to go figure out your client and then worry about me, because that's just the way he thinks. He's like, work comes first before anything else. And of course, there's going to be exceptions. Had he, passed away or something like that, maybe the outcome would have been different, or maybe I would have had to figure something out. But not once have I ever thought of leaving my clients hanging or ghosting them or taking their money. Just literally, I woke up being grateful he was alive. I had my friend who was watching him. I had my clients who were super happy with everything we had done for them. And not once did any one of my clients find out, or did I share with them, or did I communicate with them what was actually going on with me. That I was literally falling apart inside. I was literally like finding like little breaks that maybe I was catching like tears coming down my eyes. But not once did I ever bring that onto their event, because at the end of the day, does it really matter? Probably not. Maybe it would matter to them because, like I said, they're like family, but I don't mix family and business situations. It's like, you have to be professional enough to understand that at the end of the day, your life is your life, and your clients still want you to perform the services they paid for no matter what. Like, maybe I would have had to have skipped out on the last event if I wasn't physically going to be able to stay there, but I would have had a backup. I would have had to make sure someone was going to be there to cover their event. Thankfully, that wasn't the case. Thankfully, everything was able to turn out just the way it needed to. But again, grateful for the opportunities, grateful for the flexibility that, our clients have with us, and the understanding that, we are also human, but the reassurance of us letting them know that their events will not suffer no matter what. I always say, as long as I'm alive and, I didn't get into a fatal car accident or anything like that. But that's just reality, because that can actually happen. And then just really understanding that you have to always pour your heart into everything that you do, because it will tell. People can tell if you're no longer, involved or invested or have the heart in it, because your results will show. So, having shared these, specific situations with your experiences, I just want to let you know that no matter what you're going through in life, whether, like I said, it's business, whether it's personal, always try to find something you are grateful for. And I know sometimes it's hard, because you're thinking, I'm not happy about anything in my life. I'm not, grateful for anything, because I don't have anything to be grateful for. But as silly as this may sound, even if you're grateful for having, literally food in the refrigerator, when you go to turn on your light and the light turns on, grateful for that. Those small little things will change the way you think, because think about how many people didn't get to open that refrigerator with food in there, or how many people have actually lost the roof over their head for whatever reason. So thank God that that's not you today and tomorrow and the following day. And also, I encourage you to find some sort of mentorship, whether it's online or in person, or coaches that can help you find reasons to be grateful for in your life, so that your life can actually start changing in the right direction, and you can see how God can bless you day in and day out with things you could have never imagined. And I, right here, Maria Duenas, am telling you that it is also possible for you, because if you only knew where I came from and how far I have come in my life, not only in my life as a business owner, but in my personal life, it's kind of like that old saying, well, if she could do it, I can do it too. And that's 100% factual. That is 100% truth, because we were all brought here to do amazing things with our lives. And I really do wish from the bottom of my heart that all of you are fulfilling your dreams. I'm nowhere near where I want to be. I'll tell you that, because it's a long road and I have so many dreams that I still want to fulfill. But I will tell you this, I'm not stopping until all of those come true. Even if I die tomorrow, I'm going to die trying. And that's a promise that I have made to myself, to my children, and to my family. Like, I will be the example for my family. So, having said that, thank you so much for watching. And I wish you guys a beautiful and blessed day. Bye bye.
Glutathione is a big word. It's the body's own master antioxidant. It's a scavenger for free radical, bacteria, and viruses. There are no products in the market with the ingredient NASET. NASET increases the production of glutathione that's in our body already to strengthen and enhance our immune system, elevate sense of well-being, support muscle strength and endurance, cognitive function, and liver support. It helps with increased energy and blood sugar regulation. Get your bottle of GSH Plus from www.salvationnutra.com.